Okay, so now I am going to fill in the shapes with different patterns. And I want my patterns to be kind of bigger and bolder. This one is probably the smallest pattern that I have. Nothing smaller than that. And you don't want to fill it in with a lot of black because you want to be able to color it later. So, and it's harder to color. You can't really color on top of big black spaces from your Sharpie. Once you have this done, we're going to start adding patterns. So you can see where I have stripes. I have this scalloped. I have this like leafy floret looking pattern. This is like a spiral with humps in it, more stripes. Then I have like these humps, like a sketchboard humps, I guess. I mean, checkerboard humps, you could call it. But you choose what patterns you want. You can copy patterns out of here, or you can look up patterns on the internet for more reference, or you can come up with your own patterns. But you want it to be shapes that you can color. So I also balanced out blank spaces so that I can have some that are filled with pattern and some that are just blank spaces to color. So you don't want a lot of that. You want to balance it out. So what you're going to do, the main thing I want you to learn is I want you to fill up the big shapes. Now you can also extend this line as you go if you want. It was just a good skeleton to start with. I'm going to extend this line to keep going because I want that shape there. So good. I've got 3 loops that I like to work in. Now, you do need to decide what's overlapping what. Where your loops are, if you have loops, you would take it and decide which ribbon is overlapping the other one. So I may want this one to overlap that one. So I just erase those 2 lines. This one, I may want this one to overlap. Okay. And then I have one more down here that either one works. Now you're going to go through and put big bold patterns on there. Okay. So on this one, I might do something like this. That fills up this space. Now, remember, you want yours to be lighter. Now, if I want to, I can repeat that pattern in here, in this big space and this big space. So if I want to do that, I will start by putting this right here. You want yours to be a little bit cleaner than mine. Take your time on it. And if you want some of those, like if I want this to break the ribbon, I can and overlap it. To look like it's coming out of it. Okay. And then I might do the same thing down here. And I'm just kind of getting bigger the bigger the loop gets. They kind of resemble feathers. I don't like what I did there. Okay, so I repeated it 3 times. So I would say at least have 4 different patterns. Then if I want, I can go back in and mimic this just to give it a little bit more oomph or pop. Now, you want to take your time to make yours look a little bit better. I'm just trying to hurry this along. So I would do that in all three of those. So now I might go through and start adding shapes. So I might put a big oval or circle here, and maybe I'll fill it in. And then, I don't know, put stripes. And then maybe go back in. And it looks kind of three-dimensional. Then I think on the other ones, what I did is I went through and put another pattern in there. So basically, you're going to go in and put more shapes in there and fill it up. So then I might leave these spots blank. Now, you would finish the whole drawing. Then you would take your eraser. So if you look at this, after you finish the whole drawing, you would take your eraser and you would erase anything that overlaps into the spaces in between. So you would see me do this. Now I want you to see how dark mine is, and it's hard to erase, but the reason why I made mine darker is so that you can see, it. So you got to be able to erase in between each box when you are done. Okay, so on this one I'm showing you that I have these lines, so I'm going through and erasing what's in between each box. And then you have a nice, once you have that done, you will have a nice, clean, crisp, abstract drawing filled with lines and patterns that will go to the next step of color harmonies. Well, that'll be the next video.